Being a straight A student can be a real doozy. It sometimes feels like you put more effort into school than anyone else. So of course, I created a secret system that streamlines the academic process down to 4 steps. And by the end of this video, I'll prove to you that literally anyone can get good grades, and you'll understand what this system is and what each step of the process entails so that you can implement it starting today and get into the university of your dreams by the time you graduate high school. But before we jump into the meat of the video, we need to discuss how GPAs work and how mine is so far above the so-called maximum 4.0. My school has adapted to the academic student body by making some changes to the GPA system as to benefit the kids taking advanced classes by weighting them on the GPA scale. By doing this, the max GPA is pushed between a 4.0 and a 5.0, depending on the number of weighted classes a student takes. The GPA scale really depends on individual school systems, which may seem unfair, but colleges usually do a good job of taking different schools' policies into consideration. So don't worry if you are stuck within the bounds of a normal 4.0 scale. Now, I'm sure there's some scientific explanation for why we are more productive when we take time to do pleasure activities, like prefrontal cortex. But the only proof I need is my own experience, which tells me that more free time equals more happiness, and when I'm happy, I work like a dog. Simple as that. The first step in the FAST system is free time, and you have to take advantage of it because it is just as valuable to your well-being and by extension, your work ethic and grades as any of the other steps. So next time you're feeling stressed out, just take a break, so that you can feel happier and be able to unleash your full academic prowess when you sit back down to study. Speaking of sitting down to do the dirty work, well, you gotta sit down and do the dirty work. Call it resistance or the enemy or whatever you will, but everyone knows procrastination sucks. That's not the topic of the video, and I don't want to dive into it because people literally write books on the topic, but I recommend you read The War of Art by Steven Pressfield if you are serious about becoming the best student and by extension the best person possible, and if you really want to master the FAST system. But all you really need to know about step 2 is if you know you have to do an assignment, just do it right now. No buts, no slipping out. Just do it. If avoiding procrastination is the dinner roll, step 3 is the main course. But unfortunately, this is not Thanksgiving, and the main course is the dreaded Brussels sprout dish. Yeah, believe it or not, if you want good grades, you're gonna have to study. But in the FAST system, there's a twist. Most people I know who care about their grades will do what we're told to do as high school students. Study, 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 and study some more. Same thing with a lot of high school guru YouTubers out there. We get fed this idea that the more you study, the better your grades will be. No! Look at the science! Look at the lazy smart kids, look at the nerds. They're spending 14 hours a day playing World of Warcraft, 2 hours a day doing the right kind of studying, and the other 8 hours sleeping, while you spend 8 hours plus doing the wrong kind of studying, only to get a D on the day of the test. Well, they get their perfect little hundo P. So what are you doing wrong, and what are you gonna do about it? In the FAST system, studying is active. It's hard and it's grueling, but it is short, and the entire system fails without this step, so you have to suck it up. Put your phone in another room. Fill up a bottle of water. Get everything you need to survive alone for 2 hours in your room. This is where how you study is crucial. So depending on the subject, the studying looks slightly different, but it's all rooted by the same idea. You have to make your brain work. It's gonna be like a push-up with your mind. It hurts and it makes you groan, but you get stronger. To do this, you can't just look over your notes. That's passive. It's like watching the workout video, but not following along. You get 0 gains. So in math, you can work through problems that you're not sure how to do. In history, open up a blank page in your notebook, write down as much as you can in chronological order from memory. Again, focus on actually working your brain. No shortcuts. What matters isn't the right answer. It's the struggle of getting there that makes you learn. Don't be afraid to fail while studying. This strategy alone helped me get a 5 on the AP US history exam in 2023, so it's pretty much proven to work. If you actively work your brain for 1 or 2 hours before a test instead of half-assing an 8-hour study sesh, the results will shock you. But that is only if you are at the top of your game on the day of the test, because no matter how hard you prepare, everything could backfire on test day.
But wait, hold on. I don't think I'm smart enough to study like that. You said it yourself, nerds do that kind of thing. I'm no nerd. I probably couldn't think of a single historical event, nonetheless in chronological order.
Listen, I have an ingrained belief that everyone is smart. Of course, with various limitations that we don't have control over, but many people don't see it that way, and those people are just gonna hate. Let them hate, and use it as motivation for what you do have control over. How hard you work. The FAST system is designed for me. I made it to benefit myself, and I'm gonna be straight up. I'm not the smartest guy out there.
Wow.
I've bombed my share of tests, I've sent texts I didn't want to send, I've made really stupid decisions, and I will again, but by following the FAST system, I started to win the academic game, and I know that you can do the same. It's not about intelligence, so get that out of your brain. It's about strategy. Speaking of strategy, your success on the day of a test relies completely on 3 factors of which you have complete control. Last year, I took AP US History, and it was a grueling class. We were expected to read a textbook that was over 1,000 pages long, and being the lazy bastard that I am, I tried to sneak around the reading by simply taking notes in class, and of course, when the first writing exam came along, I bombed it. 0 to 7 on the practice LEQ. The first few months of the class were strenuous to say the least, and I knew I had to do better. So I started to study according to the FAST method. I started to enjoy my free time according to the FAST method. And I designed a strategy to take the AP test according to the FAST method. In the weeks leading up to the big test, I slept for 8 hours a night, studied extensively and deliberately, yet I maintained a relaxed attitude about it. Finally, the last 5 days before the test arrived, and I stopped studying altogether, since I reckoned the best thing to do now was rest my brain and sleep. The day the test came, I stayed calm, did what I knew how to do, and gave it my all. But now I can go to college and submit my score for credit, as well as impress universities with a perfect score on my application. This is all to say that if you prioritize sleep over everything else leading up to an exam, trust your own knowledge, and keep a level head during a test, you are bound to score well. And after my success on the AP exam, I decided to try out the effectiveness of FAST on an even bigger fish, the ACT. For 3 months before the test, I gave myself flexible free time. I didn't procrastinate, I studied my butt off, and I went into this test prepared, well-rested, and confident. When I came out of the test, I felt like I'd woken up from a coma and was terrified that the FAST system had failed me. But 3 weeks later, I got my score and was delighted to see I scored a 33 out of 36. Not perfect, but strong enough to uphold my faith in the FAST system and give me a chance at some of the top colleges in the country. So remember, if you are ever confronted with the decision between studying and sleeping, always choose sleep. But let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Despite the amazing results of the FAST system and its genius design, it won't ever be enough to get you straight A's and great test scores. Unlike the 87% of teenagers in the United States who own an iPhone, I do not. And I have engineered my life for maximum productivity. So if you want to find out what's still holding you back from being an absolute academic weapon, and how to overcome it, and why buying a new iPhone is a terrible idea, then click right here because this video will tell you all that and more. Thanks for watching. Cheers.